It's a crossover EZA bargain sale. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We have 5, that's right, count them, 5 Dragon Ball Xenoverse EZAs here for the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 crossover campaign in the month of April. And in this video, we are going to break it down for you, each of the EZAs, let you know which ones stand out amongst the pack and which ones you should prioritize grabbing with your white stone, whether it's dupes or extras or whatever. We're going to take a look here. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the first one here. So we're going to start with the Trunkses because, you know, we're the Trunks guy, and these are the ones we are most excited for. So starting with the AGL Super Saiyan Xeno Trunks, he is now AGL type key 3, HP attack defense 100%. Nothing too crazy. We don't really concern ourselves with the leader skills with these, but we are concerned with that passive. So the passive is looking like a key 2, attack defense 250%, chance of evading enemies attack 25% with, and crossover or mission execution allies attack 30% for 2 turns. I love that. I love the 2-turn support. That's already got me looking pretty happy there. Now, when attacking with 12 or more key, he has attack defense 250%, and when HP is 80% or less when facing 2 or more enemies, he gets an additional 150% attack. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, so multiple fights, multiple enemy fights, or if you're 80% or less, you know, a little extra attack, that's not too bad. As a second or third attacker on the turn, where he's going to usually be attack defense to 250% with a 20% chance of evading an enemy's attack. As the third attacker in turn, he launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. When receiving a normal attack, 60% damage reduction temporarily. I love that. All right, so that just helps him survive normals, right? When receiving a super attack, an additional 30% dodge temporarily. When 3 or more crossover or mission execution allies are on the team, or when all allies are super class, attack defense 200%, 250%, and a 70% chance of performing a critical hit and enemy action cancel. I love that. He's actually pretty good, right? We're talking a base 25% dodge with an extra 30% when receiving an attack. I think he has, and another 20 when he's in the second or third slot. So, right, base 55 is probably what you're dealing with most of the time with an additional 30. So 75% dodge when receiving a super attack. Otherwise, he's got 60% DR on top of everything else he's doing. So honestly, pretty good. Have to see what he's doing defensively in numbers, but honestly, this looks pretty impressive. Looking at his super attack effect, raises attack for 7 turns, nice, and raises allies attack defense for 2 turns. So I'm loving that. There's a ton of 2-turn support going on, and I kind of talked about this in my Vegeta video, that I imagine, right, as this crossover team fills out, what we're going to see with Vegeta is his stats jump drastically, because I imagine a lot of these characters are going to be giving 2-turn support. And remember, I said with these EZAs when we did our prediction that the sky's the limit here, and they really took what I meant, right? They jumped off that cliff and they went for it, and I love it. These are looking really good. So, all right, AGL Xeno Trunks, you got the seal of approval. So let's take a look at the Fizz one. So Fizz, attack defense, HP attack defense 60% for all types. That's, you know, nice. It's useful for link leveling, I guess. Moving on, key 4, attack defense 250%, damage reduction rate 15%, crossover or defenders of justice 30% defense for 2 turns, and when HP is 80% or less or facing 2 or more enemies, guaranteed critical hits. When attacking with 12 or more key, you get 250% attack defense and 15% damage reduction rate. As the second or third attacker on the turn, he has attack defense 250% with an additional damage reduction of 20%. As the third attacker on the turn, has a 70% chance to deal an additional super with 3 or more crossover or defenders of justice allies on the team, or when attacking when all attacking allies are super class, he gets 250% attack defense, high chance for a critical hit, randomly changes key series of certain type to Fizz, and foresees enemies super attack within the attacking turn starting from the 4th turn. Ooh, I love that. Scatter effects are always nice. So I would assume since he's geared more towards damage reduction that his initial defense is going to be a lot higher, but let's take a look at that super attack effect. Ooh, more ally raising for 2 turns. You see what I'm talking about here? This is exactly what we needed to see, right? So both of these guys have not only base support within their passive, but 2-turn support within their super attack. So this is really nice. I like this. The greatly raise, he's only got a 20% raise on defense on his super attack effect. So what's his damage reduction again? Right, so we've got 15, so 30 right there, another 20. So that's 50% damage reduction rate. That's not crazy, so we'll definitely have to see those defensive numbers. I mean, it does look kind of high, right? Because he's getting 250, 250, 250, right? 750 with 3 or more, 250. So almost 1,000% defense there. So could be good. All right. So, all right, tentatively seal of approval on him. I mean, they both look good. I love the supporting role they're playing. So let's take a look at Towa next, because she's an interesting one, because I don't even know where we're going to be able to use her because of her nuke lead. But 20% attack defense per key sphere obtained, 1,500 HP per type key sphere obtained. So, and it's a cool lead. It's a shame she's banned literally everywhere. All right, taking a look here. Attack defense 200%. All allies key 3. And per extreme ally on the team, attack defense 80% when attacking, up to 400%, and all allies attack defense 10% up to 50. 3 or more crossover or demonic power. Ooh, I like that. So she can be used on demonic power. That's nice. So she can be used with Deborah on Deborah's team. Can she? Are they on? Is she? She should be mission execution, right? All right. Anyways, key 3, when 3 or more crossover demonic power allies are on the team, or all allies are extreme, you get 200% attack defense, chance of evading an enemy's attack 70%, launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack, and when all allies are crossover, 15% damage reduction. So nothing too crazy on the damage reduction. Definitely seems like she's going to be more dodge than anything. But I do like the support, even though she's not given any 2-turn support. It's still useful. But again, I don't know where you're going to be able to use her like at all because of her nuke lead. Greatly raise defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy, lowers attack, greatly lowers defense, and seal super attack. So she's definitely got a lot of tech to her. I'm kind of glad they didn't go all out on her. Like, she doesn't seem too crazy, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing something here. But I guess 400% attack and defense could be pretty powerful. Yeah, I'm guessing she looks all right, but it's really hard to say, especially since we're not really going to be able to test her out. But we'll see. All right, let's take a look at Mira then. So, all right, so we got Fizz type, key 3, HP attack defense 130%. Wow. Okay, that's actually pretty high. Like that's 120 EZA lead level. All right. He's got key 3, attack defense 250%, once only, attack defense 250%, great chance of evading enemy's attack, and damage reduction rate 25%. When attacking with 12 or more key, 250% attack defense, 3 or more crossover or androids category allies are on the team, or all allies are extreme. I do like that they give them the option, right? So you can run crossover, you can run demonic power, you can run androids, or just make sure you have them all in the same rotation. Attack defense 250%, chance for performing a critical hit 70%, and 50% chance of evading. Then when there's an ally who includes Towa attacking the same turn, starting from the 3rd turn, or starting from the 4th turn, he will absorb Towa and Toki's egg, where that's why he'll transform into full into full power Mira. And so here he is greatly raising attack now. So he is stacking and raises defense, right? So he's stacking 50% attack stack, 20% defense stack. And so that, I'm assuming that's why he's got this, because you're not going to be, unless you're not running Towa, you're not going to be in this very long. So it's just like a quick one turn. Hey, support him until he can get transformed. But let's see how he is transformed. So once transformed into Mira final form, he gets key 3, attack defense 300%, 25% damage reduction, great chance of launching an additional attack, attack defense 80%, and 20% chance of evading enemy's attack for the character and allies whose name include so Towa, he gives Towa and Mira and Towa 20% dodge. I love that. Wait, he's supporting them for, that's not an 80% for himself. That's a 80% attack defense for allies whose characters' names include Towa. Okay, nice. That's actually pretty good. When attacking with Towa or more key, once only attack 100% for 4 turns. So that's just like to get him going, stacking, right? Attack defense 250%, and when receiving an attack with 12 or more key, 250% defense 100%, and damage reduction rate 10% for 6 turns, right? Again, it's simply to cover you while you stack up. And that kind of makes sense as a stacker. That's actually kind of helpful. When 3 or more crossover, androids, or full extreme rotation, you have 300% attack and defense and 70% chance to crit. And when all allies attacking in the same turn are crossover once only, you get 15% damage reduction rate for 6 turns. So essentially, once he's transformed, right, assuming you're on a extreme team or with Towa or with the crossovers, you're looking at, what is that? 25, 30, 40% damage reduction plus another 15. So 60% damage reduction, or 55% damage reduction rather, for 6 turns. That's not terrible. Okay. Looking at that super attack effect, greatly raises attack as I thought, raises defense, causes spring damage to the enemy, greatly lowers attack and defense, and raises extreme class allies attack by 10% for 1 turn. Okay, nice. All right, so he seems decent, right? Again, he's going to be a stacker, so full effect, you're going to have to stack up to see that, but seems decent enough. All right, and last but not least, let's take a look at the Demigra. This one's going to be interesting, but let's see here. What do we got to work with? So all types, key 3, HP attack defense 90%. Wow, this is big. All right, key 2, attack defense 250%, launches in skipped the line there. Chance of performing a critical hit and damage reduction rate 20%, launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack, and a 50% chance to stun the attack enemy. When attacking, 250% attack defense with 3 or more crossover, Realm of Gods, allies, or all extreme allies in the turn, attack and defense 350%, chance of forming a critical hit and chance of evading enemy's attack 40%, and as the second attacker in turn, once only, chance of evading enemy's attack 40%, and cancels enemy action cancel, which is nice. As a third attacker on the turn, he has a chance of evading enemy's attack and damage reduction rate 30%, and attacks guaranteed to hit. When HP is 60% or more, additional attack 266%, and 6% chance of evading enemy's attack. Interesting. And when HP is 60% or less, or when he's the third attacker at the start of a turn, and all allies attacking the same turn are crossover Realm of Gods characters starting from the third turn, he can transform into giant form. We'll go over that giant form in a second. So he does have a giant form. Greatly raises attack and defense for the turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy, and high chance of stunning the attacked enemy. Okay, nice. All right, and then once we go into the giant form, 666% attack, guaranteed to hit, 660% attack if you're below 60% HP. So you really want to be on that low HP when you activate it. And then massively raises his attack, destructive damage. Yes, destructive damage and medium chance of stunning. Okay, I mean, not terrible. Yeah, I mean, I think he can still be useful. I do think, probably interestingly enough, I think Mira is probably the best of the extreme ones. But it's interesting to say the least. I think he can still be good, right? Having a giant form is always useful, right? Even if you don't have full control over when it activates. So in all honesty though, like coming back here, I do actually think the two Trunkses are probably the best of the batch. I know that's crazy to say, but I do think that they are. So we've got the, right, just in order, I do actually think he's the best. But it might be a close tie between these two, right? But I think AGL Trunks is probably the best one, followed by Fizz, and then I think Mira, Towa, and then Demigra. Demigra seems interesting. I think he's going to be a real challenge to use effectively, just because of who his partners want to be. Like, looking at his partners, who's he going to link? Let's actually pull him up here, and we can actually see who's a good link partner for him, because I'm not imagining it's anything crazy. Because I feel like he's going to be a difficult one to work around. And even with that, I think he might be better on someone like the Bora's team. But let's see, Brainiacs, Big Bad Bosses, Revival, Godly Power. Yeah, so he's pretty limited on his partners, right? You're looking like these are his partners. Like his closest good partner is Demoss, who's a turn 4 partner, right? The rest of these guys are kind of not usable right now. So yeah, you got that going. But I guess Mira would be his current best partner, which means you're not getting Big Bad Bosses out of him. So yeah, interesting. We'll have to play around with him, but I definitely, again, just off the cuff, think that the Trunkses and Mira are probably the best of the batch. Just because the way they're designed. I'd like to say Towa is pretty good, but my concern with her is, of course, that even if she is decent, you can't use her because of her nuke lead. So unless they decide to get rid of that restriction, which honestly they should, then, that's kind of where we're at. So last thing I want to look at here, guys, is the upcoming content. So, I mean, as we did know from from the in-game news, we did have the Red Zone, the crossover Red Zone coming, so that'll be coming here in the next couple of days. But also something we didn't know about is the Supreme Kaya Time special lesson. This will be a way to greatly increase your player rank and character link levels as you play through here, so make sure you're taking advantage of that. It can only be done 3 times a day, and then of course we got the new burst mode for the Vegeta event, and then of course the virtual ultimate clash will be starting soon. Now, because this virtual ultimate Dokkan clash is starting soon, and we know for a fact it is specifically designed for the crossover, the Xenoverse 2, this has been leaning towards that this Vegeta that we're getting and these guys, like, this is our Golden Week campaign. I'm seeing this lean in us all the way to Goku Day by the way these events seem to be structured out, because if there were to be a Golden Week, I think we would have gotten their details tonight. It's possible we can still get them within the next 24 hours, but we're approaching that time limit on when they need to be revealed in order for them to release on the typical time for the 28th. So just throwing that out there as sort of a last bit thing. So guys, that's it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, what do you think of the Xenoverse EZA? Did they meet your specifications, right? Are they good enough for what they are? Remember, these were characters who were basically a blank slate as of yesterday. But let us know what you think in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.